Hey guys, it's Sean here, the idiot with disposable income himself, coming to you from Idiot Labs here. And today I wanted to do a breakdown of the cost and budget of my AI home lab server. So let's jump right into it and dive into the server itself of what that costs. All right, so here we have the server. This came in around 500 bucks. This one specifically 515. I went with Amazon. You could go with eBay. There's other resellers you can go with. It's really up to you. I just had gift cards with Amazon, so that's why I went with Amazon. And I just kind of figured it would be a little bit easier to return it if I had to. But came out great. Thing to look out for on these, they don't come exactly as they are prescribed. I just want to give you guys a heads up. Like mine said it would have 4x16 or something like that, or whatever, to get to 128. It just had two 64 gigabit chips in it. Same thing with like the network card had the 210 gig ports in it. So sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. Definitely check what they send you. In the other video, I explained why with the 730 XD. Please go watch that one if you're curious. So next up though is that graphics card or not the graphics card, the NVMe enabling card. This is a PCIe extension card. I believe this has to go in slot 1 of Riser 1. And this routes over to those last 4 slots in the front bays there, 20 to 24, I believe, or 21 to 24. And this will enable that U.2 NVMe in those bays. This card is compatible for the 630 and 730. Doesn't really care. So they're kind of cheaper. You can find them. They're really not that hard. Again, eBay, Amazon, whatever you can find them on, that's probably, find them for the cheapest and use them. They're going to be used. Don't try to find new. It's not worth it because I don't even think it exists. The bit though that is a pain is this cable. You have to get the cable for the 730 XD if that's the server you went with. The R630 cable will not fit. It's not long enough. It will not make the route around the side of the box. I mean, maybe you could get creative because it is a lot cheaper. It's like 60 to 80 bucks. This one, if you can find it, is 133. It is a little tough to find. If you happen to find someone making them, let me know. But yeah, this one is kind of hard and you kind of have to spend some money on this one. It's kind of crazy. That's one of the most expensive parts in the box. Next up is the power supplies. They're stupid cheap, $22 a pop. Fits a bunch of different models. That's what's kind of cool too. They fit the 740s, so when those come down in price and we want to upgrade to the 740, we could use these as well. Super simple. Again, eBay, probably your best, but if you can find it somewhere else, go for it. Really, it's just about hunting for the best price. Next up then really is the GPU. Like I said in the other video, I went with the M60, 16 gigabit GPU. Cool thing about these guys is they seem to come partitioned into 8 gig pieces. My server, when it boots up, seems to notice these into 8 gig partitions. I haven't really dove into it. It's just kind of cool. I plan on running 4 containers anyway for one of my build outs, a lot of the build outs I'm looking to do. So this will kind of work out great if that really is how it's set up. The only thing I do want to call out is on the front of these, right? These ones do not have the little duckbill. You'll see them sometimes with this goofy looking duckbill thing on the front. I wasn't sure what that is. You actually do want that for these servers. It's basically it's like a tab that will sit on this other plastic tab that's part of the fan shroud, and it'll give it support. If you don't provide it with that extra support, these things, like, they can sit pretty heavy on the riser cards. I feel like Will Ferrell. What do I do with my hands? But they sit pretty heavy on the riser card. And so because of that, you need to have something to hold it up. So you either have that piece from the GPU, or you have to do something there. If you look at my other video, there's a little like wedge that's holding it up right now. That's just a piece of an old keyboard. But yeah, if you can find these with a duckbill, I would get that. Or if you can find the attachment, make sure you get that as well. That's something I regret doing. But I picked up 2 of these at 114 a piece, which again is insane for what they really are. And then after that, I needed some drive bays. I picked up a 4-pack of those for 30 bucks. I think I was eager to get these, so this is the only reason why I went through Prime for new. You could probably find used for cheaper or whatever. I wanted them the next day, so I got them. Next up is the drives themselves. I got 2 of these NVMe drives for about $100 a pop. One of them came with an extra drive bay, one of them didn't. Who knows? These are 1.6 terabyte NVMe's. Speed seems great. They work great. I bought them used. I'd buy them used. I don't like the cost new is like 3x in a scaler, and I don't really see the benefit you're going to get out of it. A drive's a drive. Just make sure it's cleaned before you put it in. Next up are those 8-pin connectors I talked to you about. Pay attention to here how it really does specifically spell out the Dell R730. They are very specific. And again here, this actually does show a kind of a good list of what I was talking about before. The different GPUs that are definitely supported by Dell. I've heard stories of people getting other GPUs. I've seen in the forums, I've seen some videos. I'm sure that you can get them to work, but if you want the stuff that's supported and known to be supported by Dell, K80, M40, M60, P40, P100. They'll all fit right in, and these cables all will work interchangeably between them. Again, $15 a pop, pretty cheap. Next up was my memory, $135, 2 64 gig chips, the LR DIMM, load reduced DIMM. You do need that once you get to the larger chips, but it's pretty obvious. Yeah, and again, that was pretty cheap because it's still, I think, DDR3 or it's DDR4. So it's not the fastest, like I said, but it works great actually. And then after that was kind of just the basic plumbing kind of. So I bought a pretty basic PDU. I just wanted a bunch of switches on it because I do like I like the look, and I want to be able to control that stuff separately. I have a few things that are going to be plugged into the cart. Eventually we'll build out a little bit more of my network stuff, and I have a printer on there and like the fan and everything. So I just wanted to have options for all that and just have it all in one cart. So that way it's really just that power supply cable, and my internet connection is really all that has to run to the cart. So that way it can still have a good bit of free motion. And speaking of which, the cart I went with, $100, pretty cheap cart. Assembly was a little rough on this thing. It came with like 144 screws, and they're actual machine metal screws. Nothing's tapped. They're self-tappers, so you got to really drive these things in there. Like, you need a drill, and you got to lean into it on some of these. So if you're not real handy, it might not be the right one for you. It might be worth spending an extra $100 on one that's a little more easy to put together. If you're not afraid of it and you're kind of handy and you think, whatever, I don't need anything too crazy, this is pretty great because it's almost always has a $10 or $20 coupon on it, so you're never even spending the full price on it. And yeah, that's like that. It's worked great so far. I'll keep you guys posted on that. And so I think really what everybody's kind of wondering now is really, what was the total cost? Where did this come in, and what are we looking at? Well, here it is. $16.27 and 42 cents ish. I mean, it's not cheap, but I think for what we pay for gaming computers nowadays, and I mean, even our cell phones are $1,200, $1,300 a rip. So for $1,600, you have a rig that can do quite a bit of AI work. I've ran some Gymnasium stuff on there. I've ran some OpenAI stuff on there. Nothing too crazy, mostly just our reinforcement learning. But it's doing it on one container. It doesn't even seem to struggle. I'm going to try to push it a little bit more and do some more videos of some containerization and some pulling of some of the environments and see if we can push it. If there's anybody out there who's familiar with the Ray libraries, hit your boy up. I could use some help. But I hope you guys love this video. I hope it's a little bit informative. I'll post all the links in the description that I can, and a little bit more of a breakdown of the budget. Feel free to comment with any questions, and I really thank you for staying along with this series. I'll have more for it. Thank you. Take care.